What's up guys, welcome back to Cars, Cost, and Technology. In today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at the two different spoiler options for the 2020 C8 Corvette. We've got the Z51 spoiler that comes standard with the Z51 performance package, and we've also got the high wing spoiler that's an option available for either the base model C8 or the C8 equipped with Z51 performance package. Now before we dive into pricing, appearance, functionality, as well as installation process, I want to make sure you guys know where to follow these two C8 Corvettes individually on each of their owners' YouTube channels. So the Sebring Orange C8 belongs to Zach over at Corvette Direct. Then the Torch Red C8 belongs to Clarence at Seagarner Speed 252. Make sure you go subscribe to their channels. Clarence also has another video coming out on these two cars where he's going to compare more in a more detailed way each of the options on these cars, going over the different color configurations. Really cool video, so look out for that. Make sure you go subscribe to each of these guys. I'll have their channels linked down in the description below. Let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So let's start out by talking about pricing and availability on these two options. For the Z51 spoiler, it does come standard on the car when you opt for the Z51 performance package, and by default it comes in body color. So whatever color your car is, the spoiler will match that. Now for $100 you can have the color changed to carbon flash as well as your mirror end caps. So that is an option if you want to kind of change it up a little bit. I'm sure you've seen probably a 50-50 combo of both, whether it's body color or carbon flash. Both look really good and are very popular. Again, there is a $100 difference to have the carbon flash, but by default it does come body color and included for free with that Z51 performance package. Another nice thing is it is installed by the factory, so you don't necessarily have to do anything at the dealership or on your own. This spoiler comes on the car by default, ready to roll. Now with the high wing spoiler, you're looking at an additional charge of $1,150. There is no discount whether you're going with Z51 or however the car is configured. You can also get the high wing spoiler in either carbon flash like on this example, or you can get it in body color if your car is in torch red, black, shadow gray metallic, or arctic white. So those look really good as well if you want it to match the color of the actual car itself. So pretty interesting there. Now the biggest difference with the high wing spoiler when we're talking about pricing and availability is it is an LPO accessory, which means that it's something that is installed separately. It doesn't come on the car from the factory. I'm sure you've seen by now videos of people taking delivery of their car with the Z51 spoiler on it, then later have the high wing spoiler installed. Now that process is what sort of concerns me about the high wing. I didn't end up opting for it myself, even though it does look really good, and we're going to talk more about that in a second. As far as the installation process goes, again, we mentioned on the Z51 spoiler, it comes installed from the factory, ready to go. Now with the high wing, you do actually have to take off pretty much the entire rear bumper, remove the Z51 spoiler, and then install the high wing spoiler, which shouldn't be a problem. Labor costs are included in the price of the option itself, but you are looking at pretty much tearing into a brand new car. And unfortunately, I have heard of some ending up with some panel gaps or misalignment on the back end of the car, and then even some paint scratches or markings from having it installed. So make sure if you're going to opt for the high wing spoiler that you work very closely with your dealership, pay close attention to their attention to detail on doing this for you, because obviously you don't want to have any panel gaps or issues with your car down the road or scratches in the paint. And it's a difficult process. So it's not necessarily that a dealership would intentionally do it wrong or incorrectly, but you know, like again, just make sure you work closely with your dealership if you're going to be opting for the high wing spoiler, since this is not something that the Bowling Green assembly plant will be putting on for you. Hopefully down the road we will see kind of some changes to that. I made a video yesterday talking about some leaked options for the 2021 C8 Corvette, where we could actually see an option for a visible carbon fiber high wing spoiler. There was no pricing details there, but you can imagine this spoiler in visible carbon fiber would look phenomenal, and it could become a much more popular option. So hopefully down the road we'll see some less work involved for our dealerships, where it's installed from the plant and we kind of know it's consistently installed, rather than a technician trying to do it for the very first time and hoping to figure it out on your car. But anyway, let's move on to appearance of these two options. When you're looking at the high wing spoiler versus Z51, both of them have completely different characteristics and sort of bring a different element to the rear end of the car. I like both. I will say that I sort of prefer the high wing spoiler in person. In picture and video, I wasn't too crazy about it, but pretty much everyone that I've talked with has agreed that if they could find a way to accomplish this spoiler and the same functionality with 2 mounting points versus 4 mounting points, it would be just a home run, knock it out of the park type spoiler. And what I mean by that is if you look at, say, the C7ZR1, its spoiler has 2 mounting points in the center and the ends hang over like a traditional wing, versus having 4 mounting points like on the C8 to cover up the mounting spots for the Z51 spoiler. So sort of interesting that they went that direction, but again, most people agree if you could switch it over to 2 mounting points, it would be a home run. Absolutely the most popular option for the C8. but it does still look good even with 4 mounting points. I don't necessarily mean to say that because of this it is not a good looking option. I just think most people agree across the board that it could look even better if they were able to do that. Now, when you're talking about functionality here, obviously the high wing spoiler I would imagine is going to create more downforce. I don't believe GM or Chevrolet has released official numbers on the differences in downforce or differences in top speed. I know if you opt for the Z51 package versus just the standard car, you are going to see a decrease in the top speed by about 10 miles per hour. I don't think that that's necessarily just due to the spoiler. We're talking a difference in gearing there, some other aerodynamic elements as well. So I don't know exactly what you could expect on the high wing spoiler in terms of reduction on top speed or increased drag. But again, I would imagine it does create more downforce. This is mostly going to be for cosmetics, though. I don't think that you're going to see a dramatic difference. Interesting to see there. I hope that we'll find out more details soon of somebody testing the top speed with both, or getting some additional details on downforce there. But as far as, you know, overall impressions or takeaway from seeing them both in person, I definitely think that the high wing spoiler is an option that will become more and more popular. You can already see that a lot of people are choosing this option for their car. Of course, there is some slight drawbacks with the, you know, the pretty tedious installation process and the additional costs involved, but I do think that it makes the car look more exotic and aggressive overall. For my car, I did end up just going with the standard Z51 spoiler in body color, just pretty much the basic setup. But because the high wing spoiler is an LPO option, that could leave some cool options down the road, where maybe even if the 2021 visible carbon fiber spoiler is available as an accessory that I can have installed on my car, something that I could look into in the future. So, you know, obviously we're gonna have a ton of aftermarket options as well. You know, with as popular as the C8 Corvette is, you can look forward to plenty of options being available to us in the future. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm curious to see what most of you guys prefer, whether you think that the Z51 spoiler looks better, whether you like it in body color or in carbon flash, whether you like the high wing spoiler. You going with a high wing spoiler in carbon flash or in body color? I'm kind of curious. There are so many options out there. I'd be interested to see what the majority of this channel really prefers. I know, like I said, for mine, I'm going with the standard one, but I'm open to switching it up down the road in the future, whether it be through a genuine LPO accessory or aftermarket option. But anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video, like this comparison of these two options side by side. And I definitely appreciate, again, Zach from Corvette Direct and Clarence from Seagunner Speed 252 allowing me to film these two awesome cars, get them back to back, and put some videos together. Make sure you subscribe to those guys for more content on these two C8 Corvettes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Have a great day.